First, at 6 o'clock, some breaking news, a handshake agreement on a $40 billion two-year budget. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Dennis House.
And I'm Denise DeCenzo. The governor and Democratic leaders announced the deals as the clock counts down to just 6 days before the end of the legislative session.
Our chief Capitol reporter Susan Raff is live now at the Capitol with the newest information for us.
Susan?
Dennis and Denise, some progress, you could say, as far as the Democrats are concerned. Late this afternoon, the governor and Democratic leaders said they had reached a deal on a two-year budget. It's some $40 billion. As you remember, 2 years ago, this was certainly not the case. A budget was not only not reached in time, but it took until the late summer before they finally agreed on a two-year budget. Governor Lamont says this is a good budget and one that Connecticut can move forward with.
It's a budget I'm proud of on a number of different fronts. We inherited a deficit of over $3.5 billion in the next biennium. And we're going to get a budget that's balanced without raising tax rates on anybody.
With all the Democratic leaders and committee chairs behind him, Governor Lamont said this budget will help the state and give cities and towns time to balance their own budgets. However, the budget does include expanding the state's sales tax on items that are now exempt, such as dry cleaning. We are waiting to see the final list, but we are told groceries and a sugary beverage tax are not in this budget. Lamont says it will make major investments in education. Republican leaders want to see the details.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that they did have an announcement without sitting down with the folks on the other side of the aisle and going through the budget. They did this without asking Republicans for any help.
So now an agreement on the budget, but not on tolls. A new Sacred Heart University poll shows more than half of Connecticut residents support tolls, while slightly over 40% are opposed. 8% are unsure. Late Wednesday, the governor may have jumped the gun on tolls, saying he wanted a vote soon in the next few days, instead of waiting for a special session. But that would mean tossing out many bills now being debated. A tolls debate could take hours, and that would leave hardly any time for anything else.
I would say it will be very difficult to pull off a vote on tolls before we adjourn. Not to say strange things happen here, that somehow we reach that sweet spot and it moves quickly, but it's highly unlikely.
As for this budget agreement, right now it is in draft form. It still needs to be printed, debated, and voted on, and that could take several days. The session ends next Wednesday. In a special session right now, we are told tolls are slated to be voted on. When could that special session be? Well, we just don't know at this time. We are waiting to find out. We're live at the state capitol in Hartford. Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.